Baba Sahib Ambedkar reminded us, we must observe the caution which John Stuart Mill has given to all who are interested in the maintenance of democracy, namely, not to lay their liberties at the foot of even a great man, or to trust him with powers which enable him to subvert their institutions. This nation was made by great men and women, but the real challenge before us today is ensuring that no one man should believe he's greater than the nation and that he is above the principles of the Constitution. This government's modus operandi has been indirect and creeping, an incremental systemic assault for the past 10 years. The Modi government has consistently sought to erase the distinction between the party and the state by undermining and capturing all the mechanisms that seek executive accountability. It is killing our Constitution by 1,000 cuts. The erstwhile outgoing Chief Justice of India waxed eloquent recently about how the right to bail has been granted during his tenure for all. A range of under-trials, from A to Arnab to Z for Zubair. His alphabet, unfortunately, seems abbreviated because it did not include G for Gulfisha Fatima, didn't include H for Hani Babu, didn't include K for Khalid Safi, didn't include S for Sharjul Imam, and U for Umar Khalid, and countless others. The former Chief Justice made it a point to say that the Supreme Court is not meant to act like the political opposition. We in the political opposition don't need the Supreme Court to do our job. We are not asking it to. But what troubles us is that some members of the higher judiciary appear to be doing their best to compromise the independence and integrity of our constitutional courts. I do not think that the framers of our constitution ever imagined a scenario where judges would rely on private conversations with God to write judgments, rather than on objective logic, on reasoning, and on the law and the Constitution. Let me turn to how the policy of 1,000 cuts has damaged our institutions. Institutions like the Enforcement Directorate and the CBI have turned into extortionist departments for the government. 14 political parties approached the Supreme Court against the coercive criminal actions of these two agencies. 95% of cases by these two agencies are against opposition politicians. Since 2014, 25 opposition leaders facing corruption have crossed over to the BJP. 23 of them have got reprieves. 3 cases are closed. 20 cases are stalled. For years, the CBI was used to put pressure on NDTV and its promoters via a bogus case. Now that the channel's been captured, it's been sanitized, CBI says that there was never any case to start with. Airports and large infrastructure have been captured by crony capitalists by similar misuse of the ED and the CBI. In a cooked-up case against me, the CBI is wasting precious time and resources looking for a scarf and lipstick that a friend gifted me. These actions have cost India the first ever human rights violation by the Interparliamentary Union in Geneva, the global body governing all national legislatures. After the abrogation of Article 370, there has been a flagrant crackdown of the constitutional rights of the people of Kashmir. Free speech and movement have been hampered. Passports cancelled without any pending cases. Never heard of it. Manipur, an integral part of the Union of India, seems to have a complete breakdown of constitutional machinery. The failure of governance is stark. The Union government under Article 355 of the Constitution is obligated to assist states in the maintenance of law and order. In May 2024, in the Supreme Court, Solicitor General stood up and said the violence is subsiding. Yet, horrifying incidents are happening every day. I petitioned the Supreme Court in the Manipur violence case. Senior Advocate Indira Jaisingh appeared for me. An expert committee was set up. But then after 27 or more hearings, there is no relief, there is no justice yet. Time constraints don't allow a more in-depth analysis, but it is crystal clear that this political executive of the past 10 years has systematically eroded democracy. It failed spectacularly on all 3 tests of constitutional accountability laid out by Professor Khaitan. Our constitution is bleeding from 1,000 cuts. Samvidhan khatre mein zarur hai. The need of this hour is to ensure that the idea of India survives in its purest form. This burden is heavier on some of us than on others. The judiciary and the media have a far greater responsibility in protecting our constitution than to normal citizens. History will not be kind to you, your lords and ladyships, if you falter. To every Chief Justice of India, past and present, I say this: yours is not to worry about your personal legacy. Yours is not to take directions from God. Yours is not to have a private family function turned into a televised circus with a political executive. The Constitution is your only God. The Constitution should be the only Atithi who should be in your home as your Deva. Attention-seeking divas do not leave legacies. Upholders and protectors of our basic sovereign rights will only be remembered. To the media, I say, you play a huge role in guaranteeing our democracy's survival. Live up to it. To taking a few liberties with Faiz Ahmed Faiz's immortal words, let me tell you. सब ताज उछाले जाएंगे, सब तख्त गिराए जाएंगे, बस नाम रहेगा संविधान का.